Today on the podcast, we're talking trivia, karaoke, and stuff for the kids. This is the Kansas City Podcast. Welcome to the Kansas City Podcast. I'm Cole Lindberg, your host with the most, What Thou Doest. Many of you know me as the Grinch, and if not, it's nice to meet you. Each week we are joined by a one-of-a-kind KC native for a conversation on life in the city of fountains. What do you think about that? It's a pretty...
I think it's accurate.
Okay, great. I'm very happy here today. I am joined by one of the most fun people I've ever met.
Oh my God.
She's outgoing. She's loud. She's a lover of Kansas City. Kansas City is her side lover. Mm-hmm. She is also a preschool teacher now.
That's true.
She because of her, not only is Kansas City her side lover, but she's also a lover of children and making families and children happy.
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Kansas City Podcast, Annie Harrigan. Annie,
it's
how
me.
are you?
Hey, I'm so good. We're here in my apartment and we're hanging out.
We are. We're drinking some nice tea.
Should we let the people know about our past? How we know each other?
We could, yeah. I mean, we went to college together.
Mm-hmm.
We were freshmen
in Hashinger Hall.
In Hashinger Hall at the University of Kansas.
And you were famous for playing guitar on the porch. And doing elevator music.
That is partially true. Yes, that is correct.
That's all the way true.
Yes.
And elevator music, because he's being silly, I'll tell you, it's when you would go in the elevator, which was really infrequently used.
We all used the stairs just because we didn't want...
There were only four...
Well, there were only four floors that were open.
Yeah, that had people living on them.
Yeah, they were renovating.
Mm-hmm.
And so you only... I only had to go up one floor, basically, to be on my... But other people, we all just used the stairs. We hardly ever used the elevator.
Yeah, I think that might be because it was Hash and it was full of a bunch of people who pretty much were leaning left.
Yeah.
And probably thought, why would I
take
the
stairs?
Elevator? Better for my heart, or whatever we were thinking.
And then
it was the right
I turned it all on
answer.
its head, and I said,
what
"Hey,
did you
folks,
do?
let's use this elevator every now and then." And you know the reason that no one uses this elevator? Because it's old. And it's drabby.
You're right.
And it
made a lot of uncomfortable noises
there's
you don't want to hear.
There's no music coming out of the elevator. And so I stepped in there with a guitar and just went to town.
And sometimes people would join you with keyboards, bongos.
Oh, all sorts of instruments.
I'm remembering. So here's how this would play out. I would be on my floor, 5th floor, and you would hear kind of, I would leave my door open, as was the way to be a friendly person in a dorm, as one would leave their door open to indicate friendliness.
Or their door unlocked.
Yeah. That was everyone pretty much.
Yes.
But so I'd be in my room and I could hear the hustle and bustle, but relatively quiet. But then I would hear this dull roar of like, and then the elevator doors would open. I'd hear the kind of mechanical opening, and I'd hear Cole and his acoustic guitar sing, I don't know what, American Pie. You always had really good musical choices, but I'm blanking on what you would play.
We played a lot of stuff. I mean, we played everything from Springsteen to like weird like 90s like Pixies, and then every now and then
you had a
every
good
now and then
alternative.
I would like just throw in like random songs that I'd make up, for people. Be like, hey, here's this guy's in the elevator going up. What floor? It don't matter. Stuff like that.
Don't you wish I wasn't here? You're welcome.
Yes, exactly. Oh, are you embarrassed? Oh, too bad.
Too bad. Your life has changed forever because of me. But yeah, you had really good taste about picking this stuff out. Anyway.
Enough about me.
No. I want people to know this magical past.
Yes, it's true. No, so we went to college together.
Yes.
And
so lucky to have met you.
The thing about you is that even when in college, when our lives crossed paths, you were always involved. I remember you being involved in KU Radio.
Yeah, KJHK.
I remember you being involved in a lot of art stuff. Oh, yeah, there you go. There's a KJHK thing on the wall. But now you are here in Kansas City.
Uh-huh.
And as I mentioned at the top of the pod, you are a like Kansas City is your side lover. Like you said to me
I am
earlier.
in a committed relationship,
Yeah, you are in a
but
committed
Casey
relationship.
is my side lover.
And so you have like lists of things that you want to talk about today, Kansas City related.
I do.
But I want to start with one first because you and I share something in common.
Yes.
Aside from being in college a long time, because for a while we hosted trivia nights.
Live
And
trivia.
I hosted a trivia night up north of the river at O'Dowd, Zona Rosa before it got turned into Bar Louie. You actually hosted trivia at the Flying Saucer,
Yes.
which to me, that sounds like way more impressive than what I was doing, just because when I hear Flying Saucer, I think, oh, downtown, Power and Light, probably pretty crazy. But you said it was like late night trivia, right?
I was just about to say late night and on a Tuesday.
Well, yeah, but still people are out and about.
That's the thing about Power and Light. Like it's like near a bunch of convention hotels.
Mm-hmm.
So I could break down different
Yeah,
people that would be
it-
coming in.
break it down.
So if you haven't been to Power and Light on a weeknight, which I know many weekend warriors listening only would ever deign to even cross the state line into Missouri or, from... I think of weekend warriors, I think of people coming from Johnson County and up north. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
People
Yeah.
who work real hard and then they're like,
hey, I wanna-
Saturday and Sunday, I want to be someone else.
At P&L, yeah.
Yep. Anyway, so Tuesday nights...
Put on your Axe body spray down the P&L.
or don't just smell terrible. So yeah, Tuesday nights I would say it was somewhat low attendance as far as that sounds like a real burn to myself, but I'll just say getting people out Tuesday night 10 to midnight, that's a sell you gotta make. You really gotta make that sell. So you have to kind of curate the right crowd. You want to keep the right people coming back, if that makes sense.
Yes, I understand.
So the
Yes.
kind of pseudo culturally nerdy, fun loving, people who might be into what I'm throwing down. I wanted to keep them coming back.
So wait, so was your trivia like nerd specific, or
not
was it
so
all over the
much.
place?
Not so much, but I think the nature of trivia is that sure, anyone coming in off the street could probably know one or two questions just because there's information in the periphery and people just pick things up and, oh, I was there and I remember this, because, that kind of trivia. But then there's also that kind of person who relishes knowing a lot of that, would
Yes.
take the time to go down a Wikipedia K-hole to be like, I'll use this someday. I'll need to know who the original members of Wilson Phillips were and what their last, that was a pretty easy one. Their names are in the band name. Bananarama perhaps, but
Yes.
the kind of thing that will only come up at trivia.
Yeah.
But so I was saying the different facets of people. There are a lot of convention hotels in P&L. I think that's part of why P&L was born, was to be basically a Universal Studios for adults who were wearing lanyards. Who need,
You know what? I've never thought of it that way.
look at it lit up
city-
at night.
Yeah, it's like City Walk, Universal Studios City Walk with
Bingo.
no roller coasters in the background. That's actually, that may be one of the best descriptions I've heard in a long time.
Cheers.
Well done.
To me, and what I think augments that like metaphor is that like the bars all have different like styles and flavors.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all wanna line dance? We'll go to Whiskey Tango. Or if you wanna, have a surfing experience, go to the Shark Saloon. I don't know what it's called.
Sure.
If you think you are really knowledgeable about beer, go to Flying Saucer. Or if you're a real country guy, go to PBR.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, yeah,
just
It's
the same crap.
got its little
with a different
scenes.
label on it.
Right. Yes. Like it's
There's an Irish pub there too.
a little bit different paint on the wall. maybe a couple different menu choices, but it's like, oh, what do we think about tonight? Bull riding or Guinness?
I thought you said bowling, and I was like, there was
bowling.
Wasn't Lucky Pinstripes?
But now it's the sporting.
Yeah, no other pub.
No other pub. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, whatever your flavor is, they've got an overpriced meat and potatoes entree for you. And as much as I besmirch P&L because there's nothing about it that is good for Kansas City other than the immediate availability of jobs for service industry people, because all the money goes back to East Coast. Okay, don't blow up my DMs.
Okay.
All right, let's step away from this. But
So-
basically, so on trivia night, a lot of times, it goes from 10 to midnight. People would stroll in at 10:40 and be like, hey, is trivia going on? And then would try to just join my game,
Right.
which is an accumulative point game.
okay.
So they would be really far behind and they'd be coming up asking me questions about how it works. And it would just be,
Did you charge?
No, it was free.
It was free.
And the victors got gift certificates to the bar. And I, just in case I don't say this later, I have nothing but respect and got nothing but awesome, I don't know how to put it, cooperation and service from the people who work there, whether it was management or cooks or servers. The people who run that place are fantastic. So I would go back in a heartbeat were I not chasing around small children really early in the morning.
See, your trivia was different than mine because we actually charged $5 to play.
Was that for the pool?
Yeah, because we split the money 60-40 first and second place. And in looking back on it now, I don't know how we got away with that. It was probably because I knew the guy that was the bar manager. Because, like, some nights, I think one night our pot was as big as, like, $300. We had, like, a lot of people there. And a bunch of money flying around all over the place, like $160 going to the first place team. And then, they only bought a couple beers and maybe a couple advertisers, but it was a lot of money. And I had to keep hold of it too, because I had to put it in my pocket and be like,
brother.
Oh yeah. It was a big deal there for a while. And I was just
when you say money flying around, it was like coming out of your pockets.
Yeah, no,
like in
literally,
a cartoon.
like they would play in ones and I'm making change for teams that are coming and signing up. It was insane.
That you raise a good point. It's like, what's the incentive there if, a bar is essentially hosting trivia? What night did you do it?
Wednesday.
I was going to say there's never trivia Friday or Saturday because people are already in the bar.
Right.
The trivia brings people to the bar, of course.
Yeah.
So that raises a good point. It's like if people are only drinking a couple beers and having a couple appetizers, how does that help the bar? So,
but the bar was
brings a good
more
point.
full.
Right.
So, so they did better that night than they would other nights.
Right. It's just that one table that was dry as camels.
Yes, exactly. The teams that were losing really bad, plenty of drinks.
Exactly. Oh, we need to drink the pain away.
What? So you left trivia.
I did.
And to now chase around small children. How's that going for you right now?
So good.
You loving it?
I do. I went to school for education, and then I don't know, had a identity crisis or something. And when I left college, I decided I didn't want to be a teacher. And then, later on in jobs, I was retail, and whenever kids would come in, it would be the best part of my day.
Right.
Hey, dum you need to go. You need to go be a teacher.
Yeah.
So
get back on this.
It's pretty spectacular. I really love the place I work. It's wonderful.
So, what's some good stuff for kids in Kansas City?
Oh boy, I'm so glad you asked.
I am so happy I asked.
One of my favorite.
It was a pretty good setup, wasn't it?
It was so good. Segue.
Yes,
so good.
I'm getting really good at these segues on the podcast.
It was so smooth. One of my favorite things about Kansas City or any city is that to entertain and enlighten and inform children about the world around them, you do not have to spend any money. So I'm going to start off talking about a few spots that are totally free.
Here we go.
Okay, so first of
if
all,
you got kids, here we go.
strap in and get your pencil out, Scoop Troop. So I know the colder weather's the coming, but whatever. These might be warm weather things. So I know that Parks and Rec are under fire with the current things going on in Washington, but the Kansas City Parks and Rec does a beautiful job with what's out there. I can't recommend enough going to Swope Park for things like the Ethnic Enrichment Festival, which happens every year.
Mm-hmm.
That I know that was in August, but look around for those kinds of events. Kansas City has some beautiful organizations really trying to help educate youth for free and just, getting the rich culture and all the different populations out of our city into the events. Another thing I think would be just the most fun thing is on Cliff Drive in the Northeast is one of the very few, if not the only scenic byway in Kansas City Metro.
I think that's right.
So you can drive it, I believe, on Monday through Friday, and then they close it Saturday and Sunday for cyclists and people to walk around. I do believe there are natural waterfalls. There's an incredible view of Kansas City from there, the skyline and all. The Cliff Drive is fabulous. Another thing you can do with children that is completely free.
Free is good. Free is best. This podcast
is
free.
The best. Suspense.
Hey, Annie made us some really nice tea, and we've both been just sucking down tea.
It's really cold outside. It's windy.
It's nice.
We're sucking it down. Wonderscope at Crown Center.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Kaleidoscope. Please
I was
edit that out.
For a second, I was just like, wait,
No. Wonderscope is in Merriam.
Okay.
I do apologize. I always mixed it up
It's
when
'cause they
I was
both
a
end in
child.
scope.
Exactly. Okay, but I could talk about Wonderscope too. Oh, and Deanna Rose. Okay, so so Kaleidoscope is at Crown Center. It's completely free. It's different than when I was young. I went in the 90s, and it's changed.
Yeah.
It was definitely a popular field trip destination, but you do not have to go with a school. I believe that they have different groups that can go in at different times, whatever. Basically what it is it's just an emporium for children to explore. There are all these different scraps. It's a part of, I think Hallmark has some kind of youth outreach or something. Hallmark is at Crown Center. Of course, it's named after the Crown logo. And Kaleidoscope, they use different materials that they didn't use for Hallmark, paper, and there's a black light room with melted crayons and a puzzle maker.
Yeah, I remember the puzzle maker. That's the one thing I remember from Kaleidoscope was like you had the little cardboard piece, you draw on it and then you like push it through the machine. Yes, you would crank it through the machine and you get a puzzle. And I remember I probably still have one of my old Kaleidoscope puzzles.
And how old were you
somewhere.
when you did that?
I mean, I had to have been in elementary school.
That's spectacular that you remember that experience.
I still remember it. Yes.
Like, I think that's what teaching is all about, is finding those kinds of moments that are important. You still have it. You remember it. Mm-hmm. This is over 20 years ago.
I don't remember. No, I'm sorry. This was last week.
Stop.
No, I don't remember what my picture was, though.
That's okay.
I
You
remember
had an
pushing it
aesthetic
through the
experience.
Machine. Yes, good point.
And yeah, I think that it's full of those small little moments that you may go and maybe your kid doesn't seem to be like 1000% into it. What I suggest, if you're going around, oh, look at this, look at that. I suggest it's a small room. There's thousands of adults around, there's people there who volunteer to help. There's other parents. Let your kid go. Let your kid go. There's all kinds of little windows for them to look at. Even the fountain, I think, where you wash your hands is really cool. Let your kid go, see what they are attracted to, and then maybe try to replicate the experience at home with different kinds of art materials and just let them not have any goal that they're going for. Can you tell I have an art education degree?
I can. It's obvious.
Anyway, I could go on and on, but yeah.
But wait, what was
Wonderscope? Wonderscope, I'm so glad you asked. Wonderscope is in, I believe it's in downtown Shawnee.
Okay.
And I went there as well on a field trip when I was in third grade.
There.
So that is a room that it's similar but different in that it has no affiliation with Hallmark. It's kind of a building that's full of different science experiences and play acting experiences. I went with a preschool last summer for a field trip, and it was outstanding. They have a room that's full of big blocks, like different pillows you can pile onto each other.
Ooh.
They have a room that's full of like a submarine that kids can get in and steer. They have a room that's full of dominoes and things you can stack up. There's magnets, there's blocks. There's the one that was the biggest hit easily. Well, there was a vet's room where the kids had all these different kitties and dolls to take care of, and they could put on a doctor's and veterinarian's outfit.
Okay.
Not vets like veterans.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were thinking. I was like, there's a vet. Oh, okay. Oh, a veterinarian. Okay, I get it now. I was like, for a second, I was like, wait a minute.
They could put on real stethoscopes and, check the heartbeat of their baby. But then the other room, it's like a grocery store and a farmer's market wherein you could, pretend to pick off these wooden apples off of a tree and put them in a basket and then take them to market. And there was a plaster cow where you could pretend to milk it. And then there's a grocery store with a working conveyor belt and a cashier's station and a bat. Oh, it's just, can you hear the excitement in my voice? I'm not 3.
But
really
it seems like so much of this stuff now is like it's completely it's so much more involved than when we were younger. Like they've made it so much more interactive, so much more like it's a full on hands-on experience. Like I'm trying to think of there's this like amusement park kind of concept thing where it's like kids get to go and like have jobs for the day, and I think there's one that's opening up in Chicago.
Are you not thinking of Exchange City here in Kansas City?
I know Exchange City, but this is like taking it to the extreme, like full on like they partnered with like actual brands where like today you get to work at like I'm just saying an example like the Pizza Hut for the day, and you actually get to go in and like work in like a Pizza Hut that's just
That
for
is so
kids
cool.
with like there's an adult supervision and stuff, but you put on like the apron and everything, and then later you get to go to the the recording studio and you're the DJ for the day, and like there's all that type of crazy stuff. Like it's just getting more and more what's the word I'm looking for? It's getting bigger. It's getting bigger and crazier.
It's more like encompassing or immersive.
I have a theory as to why that is.
I don't want to know it.
You want to know it?
Yes, I do, of course.
Because I think that you have to have that. Like, it has to be bigger and more immersive than ever, because if it's not, then a kid's just going to go back and look at the phone screen. That they're just going to be right back at a screen playing games and stuff. So there's got to be something that has to grab their attention that's bigger and crazier than what they're looking at on the phone.
As heartbreaking as that is, I completely am behind this idea. I mean,
Maybe I'm wrong. I'm no educator and I don't have any kids. This is a theory.
I think that your theory is very, very understanding of the times. You understand where we are.
Well, do you have any preschoolers have a cell phone?
No.
Well, that's good.
None of my 3 to 5 year olds have cell phones. However, I know that they are getting more than their share of screen time at home, whether it be a tablet that they have or an iPhone. So I don't do any screen time at school except for like the occasional dance video on the computer.
Oh, Yo Gabba Gabba?
Oh, yeah. We've played some Yo Gabba Gabba for sure.
Once again, don't have any kids.
What's funny is
I know of Yo Gabba
that's like
Gabba.
an old show now.
Oh, it is? Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's been about 13 years.
I mean, you put it right up there with Teletubbies and all the other ones. Barney, Teletubbies.
And there was that other one called like Ubi, where it was just these rainbow colored drops that would skydive. You think I'm joking? They would. They just created visual.
Sounds like the world's greatest show.
Well, it won 4 Emmys.
Sounds like the best show of all time, honestly. I kind of want to go watch it right now. Ubi.
I was just about to pull it up for you, but I shan't.
So there's all these awesome things for kids to do in Kansas City that are free. You have given a lot of recommendations. Wait, what's your ultimate favorite? Like let's say you had to spend a little bit of money. What's your money one? Do you got one where you're like, oh... Or does it even exist? Like, is there just too much fun stuff you can do for free that
Let me walk down the hallways of my memories.
Okay.
Because my parents...
Here we go. To the right is a door.
To the right, and there's a picture of me as a youth. And my parents did such a good job taking us around, because I'm a transplant from Kansas. My family, like my grandma and my grandparents, live in Kansas City, but I was raised in California up till the age of 7, so we came here.
Right.
So to kind of make sure that we felt... I don't know, just aware, or like this place was a fun place to live. My parents, especially my mom, make sure that we went to a lot of places that maybe other kids had already been exposed to.
Right.
I think Union Station's just sensational myself. I've been there. I've visited there since I was about 6. Or, I'm sorry, we moved here when I was 7. So much since I was 7. You caught me in a lie. And Science City is pretty cool. It is a little expensive, but I think it's worth it. One thing I will say, here's my answer.
Yeah.
Union Station's wonderful. I'll just say that. Architecture is great. The end.
Yes.
I think what every family should do is seek out youth theater and spend a day or an afternoon or an evening or whatever just going to the theater together. Coterie is one of the best children's theaters in the nation. And if what's playing right now isn't your bag, check out next month's, because they've got like 7 or 8 shows a season, if not more.
Right.
And some of them are for 13 and over audiences. Some of them are for babies. They're fantastic. So I would suggest seeking them out a show. And they also have classes that children who are interested in acting or even not can take. I think there's so much you can learn about yourself through those kinds of activities. But yeah, Coterie, Martin City Melodrama, the Theater for Young America sometimes is at Union Station, which is why I remembered. That would be, spend some dough, go see some live theater. It is so ripe for discussion. And often the Coterie and Theater for Young America will have like pre-show and after-show discussion time, sometimes Q&As with the actors or even playwrights. So that's my answer, by golly.
That's a great answer.
Thank you.
So here's what we're going to do. We are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, Annie is going to be taking the Casey quiz.
Okay.
And she has like a gigantic list. I'm looking at it right now.
do.
It's pages upon pages of
scroll.
stuff. So
And we're going to get more tea during this break, too. So you should, too.
I am anticipating that we're going to get more recommendations for stuff than ever before
Probably.
in the next segment. Are you ready? I'm hyping it up the best I can.
Oh, I hope you're ready, listener.
We'll be right back here on the Kansas City Podcast. Next week, we got one more episode before our end of the year in review spectacular. Spectacular? Yeah, one of those days. Hey, I know you're saying to yourself, Cole, I want to get you a Christmas present. And you know what? That's admirable. And I appreciate that. But you don't need to get me anything. Or wait, you know what? You can get me one thing. You can go online to your podcast provider. Maybe it's iTunes. Maybe it's Stitcher. Maybe it's I don't know. Can you listen to podcasts on Facebook? It doesn't matter. But go to your podcast provider, and you know what? Hit that 5-star. Just be like, you know what? For Christmas, Cole, here's 5 stars. 5 stars. Boom. You know what? You know what you need, Cole, for Christmas? 5 stars. There were 5 stars on the night Jesus was born. 5 stars. There it is. 5 stars for Jesus for Christmas. That's what you get, sir. That's right. Doing it for America for Christmas. That's what you can get me. And you know what? That is nothing but making dreams come true. You are Santa Claus, sir. Santa Claus. Back to the show. Welcome back to the Kansas City Podcast. I'm here with Annie Harrigan. Annie just got me some more tea, and it is fantastic. Just enjoying the hell out of this tea. Annie, are you prepared?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
It's time for the Casey quiz. All right, so here's how the Casey quiz
That
works.
noise you heard was me dancing in my
she's
squeaky
dancing
chair.
to the song. So here's how the quiz works. I'm going to ask you some questions. These are Casey-related questions. You will be rewarded points, okay? If you don't like a question, you just say stupid question, all right?
Not skip.
No,
I'm
just
gonna
say stupid
insult you
question.
to your face.
And then remember, folks, you can tweet us at Kansas City Pod if you have a question you'd like to add to the Casey quiz. Annie,
Yeah.
Are you ready? I'm starting with the main question here. And now, I've already hyped this up because I'm looking at your giant list. I'm not even kidding, folks. She has a giant list ready to go.
Yeah, it's coil bound from Copyco and Lawrence.
She wrote it with a quill and scroll.
Yes.
Here we go. So, are you ready?
I'm ready, Cole.
First question. Your favorite restaurant that is not barbecue?
Oh, barbecue wouldn't be in my top 10 restaurants in Kansas City, though it is great.
I know.
I'm not trying to besmirch it.
Yes. Favorite restaurant. Now, remember, you can have more than one here. I'm doing the points based off of your answers. So, I mean, favorite restaurant. What do you got?
I immediately, I think of Happy Gillis.
Okay.
That is down in the kind of River Market area. It's Columbus Park. Have you been?
No.
It's wonderful. They are all of their that's period.
Do tell.
The dining room is just lovely. They have different like Formica and other retro dinner tables and chairs, but the food is great. They have a rotating menu of seasonal soups, salads, and sandwiches, but their tried and true 365-day-a-year menu is great. They have this banh mi sandwich that I have a hard time not ordering every time I go in. The aioli is really spicy and yummy, and everything that they make is just really well done. They have refill your own coffee tureens.
Oh.
I don't recall where their coffee's from, but I know it's good. Kansas City coffee, maybe Parisi, maybe Roastery. But it's just wonderful. My parents love the place. I love going there with them. It's great. They have brunch, good brunch stuff. Their salads are lovely. Yeah. Service is great. I can't recommend it enough.
So that's number one for you.
It's number one. I will say the dining room is a little bit small.
Okay.
So if you're going
Well, that makes it
in-
more intimate. It makes it more cool.
Yeah, it's so much more exclusive. But if you're going on a Saturday or Sunday, I would say you may need to wait for a moment or share if you're there with one or two,
Yeah, get to know somebody.
Yeah, there's 4 tops. So if there's 2 people there, ask if you can sit with them. Unless you have social anxiety, and then I respect you. Just be who you are.
Very nice. You got another one?
Of course.
Okay,
I
keep
really
going.
I've only been once, but Novel was a really cool experience.
I've heard of that. I haven't been there yet either.
I just went the one time in West Side, and it was for my partner's birthday, and it was just wonderful. It's set up in an old house, kind of built on a hillside, and you feel like you're going into an old house full of stories. We sat upstairs, and my boyfriend ordered this great appetizer called I think it's Novel Cubano, which a Cubano, I believe, like a Cuban sandwich, is ham and
Roast beef?
I think so. It's a combination of meats.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's roast beef. I hope you'll forgive me. I'm going to have our producer research this for us real fast.
Yeah.
But basically what they did was they made a terrine.
Get on that, Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry, can you put...
Jerry's looking it up right now.
He's watching the game.
Yeah.
Switch off Fox Sports Live, Gary. So they make this terrine out of like, they have a whole pig preparation there sometimes.
Ooh.
So they'll take like meat from different parts of the pig, put it in a terrine, and then take a slice of that, fry that, and that's essentially the bread in the sandwich. Yeah, Cuban sandwiches. Jerry, you got that? Okay, he's handing me his Nokia. Okay. I'll read it off the Nokia screen. It's a variation of ham and cheese. And the recipes are like a certain kind of bread, ham, roasted pork. So basically different kinds of pig, ham and roasted pork. It was spectacular. In the bathroom at Novel, they have a lot of the original fixtures of the house.
Oh,
so
okay.
they kept like a clawfoot bathtub in there, the sink, the toilet. I know seems kind of funny, like is someone coming in here and cleaning up before their date, but it was really charming. The service was
I'm
great.
gonna go take a bath and then have some food.
Yeah, you know what? Closer to godliness, I always say. So yeah, Novel is a little pricier, but such a good experience, especially if you have something to celebrate or just want a nice, delicious plate of food. It's good stuff.
Great answers. 5 points. Well done.
Out of.
Well, I mean, you got 5
Okay.
so far. It's a running total here. Okay.
Should I write down my total?
No. I'm keeping track.
Oh, thank God.
Here we go.
Jerry should be.
Your favorite local event?
Good question.
I know it's a great question. That's why it's on
You're welcome.
the Casey quiz. Your favorite local event? I know you go to a lot of different things. Everything.
I don't know what you're implying.
From improv comedy to some other. Like, you got a local.
Are you
event?
saying like a recurring event or
Sure.
just anything?
Like,
right now, you know what I'll do? I'll give my big ups to the guys who are trying to do comedy at Mockingbird Lounge.
Yeah.
Which is a great new-ish bar in Strawberry Hill. And some young men, I believe it's Aaron Naylor and another young man whose name escapes me right now. I've been doing, I think it's regular Thursday.
Jerry?
Yep, Jerry, can we get you on the horn here? Help us out.
Come on,
Help a
Jerry.
lady out. They have a little stage in there, but you don't need much more than a microphone to do live comedy. And they've been starting like a comedy night with just a couple acts and doing, some tight sets. And it's cool. Mockingbird Comedy Hour.
Yeah.
That would be every... Stalling.
You're doing fine.
I believe it's Thursdays from 7:30 to 10. But you can, look up Mockingbird Comedy Hour on Facebook or your preferred social media platform. And I would say
MySpace.
Get on MySpace, get disappointed, and then just Google it. But I would say that. And Uptown Arts Bar has been doing a lot of comedy events. I'm trying to think of where else.
What other local events do you go to every year? Is there like an event that you go to every year that you're like, hey, I'm going to keep going back and back, like Boulevardia or Middle of the Map Fest? I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's
a good question.
always
I would say
starting up.
Middle of the Map I went about 3 years ago, and unless there's an act that I'm willing to pay a lot to, I know that the tickets are comparably very well priced. So I have no qualms with the pricing. It's just, I'm seeing I saw Grizzly Bear and that was fantastic.
Remember, you can always say stupid question.
No, but it's not. I'm just, what I think the issue is I'm such a homebody since I've become a preschool teacher that I don't go out too much.
I didn't think about that.
So,
yeah, because you're
in
running
past
around
lives,
with children all day, and so then you just go, you're like,
and
oh,
even
take
on
a
the
nap.
weekends, I just really like a nice cup of tea and a lie down. But yeah, I certainly think Kansas City is ripe for trivia nights, drag performances. Touring musicians come through, thank God. But yeah, I would say, stupid question, basically.
Okay, great. You get 2 points. Here's your next question. Your favorite bar. You have a favorite bar?
I do.
What is it?
I think, number one with a bullet, I would say as far as best experience and value.
With a bullet.
Yep. Duck.
To the top.
Watch out, baby. Bullets coming at ya. Would be Tiki Cat. I've had great experiences there.
Whoa, hold on. What?
Tiki Cat in Westport. It's below Hop Cat. It's a tiki lounge that seats maybe 40 people max.
Why have I never heard of this?
I don't know. I've been twice, and it was just
I feel like with a name
so
like
great.
Tiki Cat, I would know about that.
Well, you're learning about it now, baby.
I'm learning about a Tiki Cat. This is why I said this is why I hyped this up, because you're opening up a whole new world to me right now. I have never heard of Tiki Cat.
That's me opening up the world. It's advisable to get reservations on Open Table because, as I mentioned, it's a very small place.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, and tiki bars, maybe someone out there listening is saying that's a gimmick, or maybe that's, not a real kind of bar. I will just say for my money, and yes, the drinks can be kind of expensive, but they are delicious.
Yeah.
I have never had the kind of service that I've gotten at Tiki Cat anywhere in Kansas City.
Oh.
I'm taken care of beautifully by the front of house folk or, people at the front desk.
Right. So they
come
do all
and
the
check on
crazy
us.
mixings and stuff?
You can sit at the bar if you'd like to watch the really friendly and smart and kind bartenders and tendresses create drinks if you want to watch them. So I didn't know this until I went there. They mint leaf.
Yeah.
Tiki drinks have, lots of different ingredients, different liquors and whatever, and they have crazy garnishes, and this place is no exception. So if they're going to put some a nice bushel of mint into a drink, they'll whap it against the drink in order to release more of the natural oils, so that once they tuck it into the drink and serve it to you, you get this wave of delicious minty smells.
It washes over you.
Yes, it's so therapeutic and healthy. But then you drink all that rum. The drinks are great. The drinks are great, and they have great music. I would kill to be the DJ for that place. And if I may talk about a local radio show, Rockabilly Mood Swing, which I believe is every 5 to 7 p.m. Friday night on KKFI 90.1.
Mm-hmm.
They sometimes will do, maybe about once every 2 months, they'll do a DJ set live.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's going on the radio, but they'll DJ.
But they'll come there and they'll DJ at Tiki Cat.
And it's a swinging kind of time. You can, there's different little cabanas you can sit in with cool decorations. There's even the bathrooms are glamorous and decorated to the nines. I urge you to go. It's very fun. The drinks are delicious. It's fun. I really had a great time.
All right, I'm writing this one down.
Please do.
Tiki Cat. I'm going to give you 7 points for that question.
Woo, baby.
Wow. I mean, you enlightened my world just now. Here you go. You ready? Your next one? Mm-hmm. Favorite local hangout. Favorite place to just go and hang out. It could be a bar, I guess, too. It could be where do you want to go? Where are you going to go hang out? If you're going downtown, if you're going somewhere, where are you going? As she thinks quietly.
My first thought was the library.
You know what? In the back of my mind just now, I was thinking she's going to say the library.
I don't think you stepped foot into my little foyer over here, but you'll notice that at least one and maybe 2 full shelves are dedicated to materials I've checked out from the library. Right now I have 72 things checked out from the library.
Is that you maxed out?
No, I think 100 is when they cut me off. I've never gotten to 100.
Okay.
I do, but download, if you live in Johnson County or have a Johnson County library card, download the app, or wherever you're from. I'm sure all libraries have apps. You can request books through the app, and then they're waiting for you when you get there.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Crazy.
Mind blown. So you're going to the library.
Library is one of my thoughts. I like Ibis. up in Lenexa. I'm sorry, Ibis and Black Dog Coffee House.
Okay.
They're next to each other and they're kind of part of the same thing. Black Dog Coffee House, great drinks. They'll do a pour over for you. They'll do a latte art if you're in need.
Oh,
and then
the leaf. They'll do a nice leaf.
Risotto leaf, I think.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Sure. And then Ibis is next door, and it's like an artisanal bread baking place. And I think they really know their stuff. They have different kinds of breads and pastries you won't see anywhere else. That's a good place to go and hammer out a project or read a book. It's in Lenexa, so
okay.
It's not all bad in Lenexa.
I'm gonna amend a question here. This is a Twitter question that we got in, okay. But I'm gonna amend this because I think that right here, I think this question is right up your alley. Are you ready? Let's say you have some friends coming into town, and they say to you, Annie, what do we need to go do here in Kansas City? What is our list of things that we have to go do while we're in town? Map out our trip for Kansas City. Give it to me. Where do they got to go do?
That's
What
great
can
question.
they miss out on?
The first thing that comes to mind is to go to ABC Cafe.
Okay.
Have you been there?
Yes.
Okay. That's pretty close to Black Dog.
Yeah.
I would say go to ABC Cafe. I would say, I would hope these friends are inviting you along for their adventures.
They are.
Because they're nice, but also because ABC Cafe is dim sum and it lends itself to sharing. Pine and Bamboo Garden on Shawnee Mission Parkway also has dim sum on the weekends. And if you haven't gone to like a dim sum service, I hadn't gone until maybe about a year ago. They'll wheel around different carts, and a lot of different nice servers will show you the different things that they're offering you. And at the end of your meal, they'll come and they'll count up the dishes that you've tried and eaten, and then there you go. ABC Cafe is pretty small, but yeah, if you're sitting at a table with a bunch of people and there's a Lazy Susan full of delicious Chinese dishes in the middle, you're living a good life.
Yeah.
Additionally, behind ABC Cafe is a little something called the KTV Cafe. Do you know what this is, Cole?
No.
Do you want to guess?
Wait, it's
KTV Cafe.
KTV Cafe. Well, I don't know. It's another cafe that has letters in it. We're going ABC, then KTV. So I'm imagining somewhere else down the street. It's like the JMO Cafe or so. Like, all the letters are filling in. Like, but these are out of order. Okay, so what is it? I have no idea.
It's a karaoke lounge place.
Oh, that makes sense. Karaoke.
Yeah, and I've heard they have a really killer selection of...
What's your go-to karaoke song? Do you got a go-to?
I love karaoke so much.
Me too.
I am thinking...
I'm a champion karaokeer.
I bet we could kill it. I bet we should hustle. Can we karaoke hustle people?
I don't know. Do they do that?
I don't know. Like, be like, oh no, I'm not. See, the thing I think is there's pool hustlers because you play games of pool to win money. I don't think anyone sings karaoke to win money.
Yeah.
But if they do...
That's just called a singing competition.
That's on TV. Okay. What was I going to say? My go-to,
you have one or two that you go to?
Yeah, of course. I'm trying to think different situations. When I want to get up there and get off fast, I'll do a shorter one like Mambo Italiano by Rosemary Clooney.
Okay.
And if I really want to milk it, like I'll do Eternal Flame by the Bangles.
Okay. I have three.
I want you to lay them down.
Louie. That's if I want to go just kind of crazy and have a good time. Love Shack, because I have a really good B-52s impression.
Like Fred Schneider?
Yes, I can go Fred Schneider all the way. And, you can really get people excited about that.
I'd make a Kate Pearson to your Fred Schneider sometime.
And then if I want to just get really weird, okay, I choose Get Off My Cloud by the Rolling Stones.
What, like Scream Hey You, people?
Yeah, and then just full on, just like stick my lips out, like hey, yeah, like that.
Whoa, you guys didn't see. He gave us kind of a.
I did the whole
did the whole chicken peck arm
the big
movement.
Jagger chicken peck. That's my 3 karaoke songs. Like, I don't think anytime I've done karaoke, probably in the last decade, it's been one of those 3 songs. Like I do it once and I'm done for the night.
You pay your tab and you're gone.
Okay, so you go ABC Cafe, then we're going to KTV.
Yeah.
Then where are we going?
Gee.
Come on. Your friends, they're looking at you right now. They're saying, Annie, where to
What
now?
are we going to do? Okay, then we're going to stroll around Loose Park.
Okay.
We're going to have a stroll.
Oh.
We're going to look at some dogs and ask to pet dogs.
Okay.
If we're feeling peckish, we'll bring a picnic basket and hope that Yogi don't steal it.
Yeah.
We're going to, I don't know if you're into this, but maybe you could rate how attractive the runners are as they go by. That's up to you.
That sounds like an app idea.
If it's in season, I highly recommend going and trying to smell as many roses in the Memorial Rose Garden as you can at Loose Park, because some of them smell like fruit punch.
Ooh.
Some of them smell like buttercream cake. It shouldn't be real. It's not natural. No, it's beautiful.
All right. So
Yeah, so ABC Cafe, Loose Park.
Well, no, ABC, KTV.
Oh yeah. Well, I was going to say
Park.
you might want to end the night at KTV.
Okay, so yeah,
because it's
ABC,
karaoke. Let's
that's
be
a
real.
good point. Okay, so now we've got like the middle section here, like we're leaning towards like dinner
I was going
time
to recommend
area.
another bar. So if
ahead.
you have friends that like to really tie one on when they're in town, I was going to say make reservations at Manifesto. And if you have friends who really like fine dining, you should go to the Rieger before you go to Manifesto. So the Rieger is, I believe it's 19th and Main.
I think that's right.
And there's the big painting of a bottle. I believe
Yes.
it's just Rieger
Yep.
whiskey. So Rieger is Howard Hanna is their, I think it's executive chef, and he has just a rotating menu of different, I think it's, I don't know, I don't want to misuse the word farm to table, but I certainly think they have a really good connection with local farmers. And yeah, delicious food, period. They have a beautiful bar upstairs that looks very turn of the century and very pretty, but downstairs is a speakeasy style bar called Manifesto. You'll need to talk to the person at the stand. I don't know what.
Yeah.
And let them know that you'd like to go. And some nights are really booked. Other nights you can slip in. I think you can also reserve a spot online. But yeah, Manifesto is a cool experience. I've had some drinks there that I'd never really had before. When the right music is playing, when the right crowd is in there, when the right people are drinking the right things, it is one of the coolest places you can be. One night I went in and their music system was broken and they were playing Green Day off an iPod. And I wanted to run into the river and never come out.
Well, I'm glad you didn't run into the river. I'm going to give you 6 points for all that. That was fantastic.
I'm racking up these points.
Your favorite place to see live music? Got a favorite place to see live music?
I'm going to say this with the caveat that I have not been to the new record bar yet.
Okay.
I'm going to cite my homebody status for that
Okay.
misstep.
That is okay.
Favorite place?
No one's going to dock you for that. I hope not. I might. Because I am the one awarding points.
Nor have I been to the Truman.
I haven't yet been to the Truman either, but I hear good things.
I think I'm going to go 45 minutes away. I'm going to say Liberty Hall.
Oh, you're going to Lawrence?
Yeah. I mean, Kansas City, I'm trying to think. Uptown is okay. I've had great experiences there. The venue's not my favorite, but it's pretty. Focal is pretty cool. It was I don't know if it's still around, but it was a DIY venue in KCK. I'm not sure if FOKL. Do your research and see if that's still a thing.
Jerry?
Jerry, could you get those fingers a tapping? Because it looks like you're playing words with France. Let me think if I can think of one more. Will you stall for me, Coley? What's your favorite?
My favorite, I have for local venue in town, I think the Green Lady Lounge is amazing.
Good answer. I would say the basement there is really cool.
The basement was very cool. That was very interesting. I really like the Midland. I like the Midland a lot.
It's good for comedy.
Yeah,
surprisingly a great comedy
I saw
place.
Aziz Ansari there a couple years ago. He was really nice. I saw Phoenix there the other night. Yeah,
Was
Phoenix.
that for the Buzz
Yeah, it was for
Christmas
the Buzz
party? I was
Christmas
surprised
party.
they pulled Phoenix for that.
It was pretty great. They played for about an hour and 15 minutes, and it was fantastic. It sounded great. So I mean, like I feel like if you're going to a show between the Midland or the Uptown, like you know what to expect. It's going to be a cool show, and I think they're both really beautiful theaters. So
Well said.
if I had to choose from down there, I'd say one of those two. But I mean, Green Lady Lounge is pretty damn.
I think you said it. I think it's Green Lady Lounge.
Okay, well then I'm gonna only give you 1 point. Here we go. Here's your next question. What is your favorite KC fountain?
I mean, I'm sure I have one that really I think is beautiful, but as a joke answer, I'll say the little boy peeing on the plaza.
Oh, beautiful. I'll give you 5 points for that.
Yes, it got me points, so it was a good answer.
Yes. Here we go. This is the next one. This was a Twitter question.
Okay.
Are boneless wings just chicken nuggets?
They're bigger.
So they're not.
I mean,
Because
call a
they're
spade a
bigger.
spade, but they bigger. Can you tell me who the Twitter user was that said that?
Nope.
We can't get a shout out from them?
Nope, not
For
going to
them?
do that.
Okay. They didn't deserve it.
All right, 1 point for
Also,
that.
they have more sauce. If you want like a naked wing, then that's like a chicken nugget.
Okay. What are the things on top of Bartle Hall?
Good question. Jerry, I know they're by a sculptor. I believe those things were...
No, but what do you think they are?
Oh, I was going to tell you the story of them. I mean, call me a basic bee, but I think they're like kitchen instruments. One of them looks like the thing that you use to cut pastry, to make a dotted line on a pastry, that wheel, like a pastry wheel. Mm-hmm. One of them looks like a spiral potato masher that does no good. I don't know why you would have a potato masher that recedes on itself.
Right.
But basically, I think it's a symbol that we're sending out to aliens. To tell them Kansas City, come hang.
It's a sending out to the aliens. I like it.
We're sending this one out to the aliens. Points?
All right, I've got another question here for you.
Points.
This is a very important one, okay? Who let the dogs out?
Who?
5 points. Well done.
Her?
I know you mentioned earlier that I don't have this on the Casey quiz, but I know earlier you said you wanted to talk about coffee.
Oh, yes.
So do you got a favorite, I'm not a big coffee drinker guy, so I can't even really have a conversation.
You're not going to go out and, yeah.
I can't have a conversation about coffee because I don't understand it. Like, I'm already kind of wired as it is, and then you give me some coffee, and then it's like, buddy.
We don't think this is a good idea.
Yeah, like, everything's crazy right now. So give me some coffee. Break down some coffee. Like, you got some coffee recommendations?
There's some new spots. Now,
Okay.
I'll also say this with the caveat. I haven't been to Messenger Coffee's, I don't know what you'd call it, HQ in the Crossroads, but a couple places that I think are good to really go. And I think a good coffee shop, you should be able to sit there for a long time, work on something, for a long time, and be able to get different kinds of drinks to get you through it. I think that came from studying in college. I was like, I don't want to feel like I'm in an uncomfortable chair and I can't wait to go home. I need to be able to really sit here. I need to get my butt in this chair and do it. A couple places that have really taken care of me in that regard are Thou Mayest.
Yeah.
In the Crossroads, which has coffee and cocktails. I believe they do both quite well. It is decorated nicely. It is very Anthropology, Crate and Barrel kind of chic, cozy, But, if that's the kind of attitude they're trying to curate, I say bravo, whatever. Bravo. It looks cute in there. I already mentioned Black Dog. Split Log on, I believe it's State Avenue, very close to Mockingbird Lounge. It's very small in there.
Yeah.
But it's a cool place. And they have a drive-through. So if you live near KCK at all, I'm sure you've seen them, but if you're looking to venture out for a day trip, go get a cup there. And when it's nicer, they have several outdoor umbrella tables for you to sit and hang. And I bet it's dog friendly. Speaking of dog friendly, I haven't been to have you heard of Bar K?
No.
Okay, it's a dog bar where you're supposed to bring your dogs.
What?
I haven't been because I don't have a dog.
I couldn't take my dog because she would kill everyone.
Well,
what's her name? Her name's B. BEA. That's her. It's Beatrice, but B. Yeah, but she. Nope.
Hey, it sounds like you know your dog and her needs.
Yeah.
So no problem. But
she would not only get drunk at the bar, she would kill every dog in the bar. Mm-hmm. She would go to town.
They were looking at me sideways.
Hey, we got 2 questions left.
Let's do it.
Okay, here's your first one. How do you feel about the streetcar?
I've actually not ridden it.
You haven't ridden it yet?
No. Again, homebody status, but that's no excuse. My parents are gaga over it.
Oh, really?
They love... One thing I love about my parents...
Gaga for streetcar.
They love going out and seeing what kinds of things are happening in KC, so I really applaud that. They really like the idea of parking at Union Station. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, I think my dad is going to the KU game at Sprint Center. They're going to park at Union Station, ride it in, not have to worry about parking or that bottleneck of people getting out to their cars. So I would say, as far as usability, I think it's being used well. I think that, when it comes to how things are built and funded, I've done some research, but I won't go into it now. But basically, I think it's a step in the right direction.
Right.
I think anything that gets people mobile.
Out and about.
And and folks that, maybe don't have any kinds of means of transportation or anything. I don't know. If it helps out somebody, then I applaud it.
Very nice.
Thank you.
3 points.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Your last question. I always finish
I'm
with this
not
question.
ready.
It's time for the Google challenge.
Okay.
Okay, so here's what I have done. I have gone online to Google machine and I have typed in the following words, and I'm letting Google autofill the ending.
Okay.
So I'm going to read to you what I've typed in, and you now have to tell me what is the final word or phrase that's going to fill for the autofill.
I'm ready.
You ready? A lot of points on the line here. You
Okay.
ready? I typed in, because you are a preschool teacher, preschool is blank. What are people Googling? You got to be strategic about it.
Oh,
preschool is...
I would say expensive.
Okay.
Important.
Mm-hmm.
Let me really think. Why would people Google preschool?
Yeah, preschool is. Remember,
Yeah,
I'm typing in
preschool
preschool is...
I'm trying to think about if any kid would be like, preschool is dumb and I hate it and I
You
never want to
you
go
gotta think
back.
collectively, like, what are these people Googling that would put this at the top? Preschool is...
Can I get some kind of a hint?
Nope.
Jeepers.
Time is...
Unnecessary?
Was that your final answer?
Yes.
Okay, it is preschool is what age?
Oh.
Oh.
So as far as like someone using it to delineate where a child is age-wise?
Sometimes those ones are really weird, but that one kind of makes sense.
That
if you
makes
think
sense in
about
that,
it.
you know, if someone
Yeah.
were to be like, my kid's in preschool, and you were like,
Exactly.
so what kind of a present do I need to bring them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tally up your points here. Let's see. Let's see how you did. We're gonna put you on the leaderboard. 5 carry the 1.
Beep, boop, 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 boop.
Exactly. 48 points.
Whoa, that's got to be the best ever.
That is pretty damn high. You've probably up near the top. That was a very well done Casey quiz. You covered a lot
I worked hard
to prepare.
to really give everyone the best experience possible. And if you don't feel that you had that, that's on you, because I brought it today. And if you're listening and you're like, I give it about a B, I'd say look at yourself in the mirror tonight and just, who hurt you? That's all I have to say.
Annie, thank you for taking the Casey quiz.
Oh, thank you for asking me to take it.
All right, I'm back here with Annie. Annie, we are nearing the end of our time today. We've had a great time. We've discussed a lot of different things.
Speak for yourself.
Kansas City, yeah, I had some delicious tea. Life is great. Things are, it's a glorious day. This is your time to shine. What your last little bit of like, hey, everyone, this is your plugs. This is your words of wisdom. This is your time to shine here at the end of the podcast. What do you want the people listening to the Kansas City podcast, what do you want them to leave with today?
Okay, I don't have anything to plug.
Okay.
But I do want to say this. I'm going to plug going out of your way to make someone's day better. Here's an example. If you receive great service, I'm not saying necessarily like someone sewed you a suit, like you're, some kind of fat cat or something, and you're like, this is divine. Like if you're at the grocery store and you notice like
you sewed my suit great.
These dots are amazing, and the French cuffs, I can't even stand to look at them. Beautiful. But if you're at the grocery store and maybe, like some teenager comes over and offers to give you a hand, or someone says, hey, can I help you find something? I mean, those kinds of things are pretty rote, but I just feel that people don't have to do them at their job. They could just float through and pretend that they're not even alive or existent and just drift through their lives. And if they try to have an impact on your day that is positive, I say get their name and get them fired. No, call back and say, hey, can I talk to the manager on duty, or send an email if it's through a corporation, because often email surveys are where you're going to actually make an impact, because whatever. Right. But yeah, word of mouth, as far as someone just taking care of you in a way that made your day a little bit better. And just say, I feel that what I like to do is I'll say, hey, Andre really helped me. He did this, this, and this, and I think he should get a raise. Because what harm is going to come out of you just putting that out there? And also, I'll just say this, managers, I know you've been a manager of people.
Yeah.
I will say managers, 90% of the time, if they are hearing something about someone under them, someone that works for them, it's negative.
Right.
So if you can contribute...
I can confirm that, yes.
It's confirmed. If you can contribute to some positivity into that person's life who you validly believe is doing more than what they have to do to keep their job, put that back out there and just... And also, I know this, you don't have to listen to this around the holiday season, but even whatever time of year it is, just smile at a retail employee and just say please and thank you, because they, and service industry and anyone who's working at a job, because they just get stepped on so much. So
especially busy season.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And all we can think about is ourselves and our lists and, you know, Aunt Fiona coming over, and
not Aunt Fiona.
she's the worst.
No, not her.
I've got to make sure I get these doilies ironed. So it's on my list.
If people want to call you out on the Casey quiz, where can they call you out on Twitter or Instagram somewhere?
I have a Twitter. It's a private account, but if you want to follow me, I will probably accept, because I love seeing those numbers go up, up, up.
Yep.
So my Twitter handle is werewolf, WHEREOH werewolf.
Brilliant.
Thank you. It's from a TV show. So,
I like it.
Yeah.
Remember, folks, you can find me on Twitter at Cole Lindberg. Make sure to check out our website, theKansasCityPodcast.com. You can follow us on Twitter at Kansas City Pod, Instagram at Kansas City Pod, and of course we're on Facebook. Please continue with those wonderful reviews. 5 stars all the way.
Can I give them a sample review?
Sure, go
They
ahead.
don't even have to think about, just type. Just open up the iTunes or anywhere else review and just type this. Have you even heard, Cole? So fun. If you live in Kansas City and you're not listening to this, get your life together, girl.
Or you could just you could just rate 5 stars, and then you could just I don't know, give me the recipe for your favorite meal or something.
Or like some ASCII art with like a dude shrugging.
Yeah. Or you could post anything just as long as it's 5 stars. I get these 1 stars every now and then that people are very confused by my voice. They think my voice is a put on. You've known me now for...
Like they think you're being a goof? Like being silly?
I don't think it's so much as silly. Like, I got a review once that says, "What's with the voice?" And you've known me for over 15 years now. I mean, this is my voice. It's my voice, right?
It's animated.
It's animated, but like there was a guy, I think one review said, this guy's trying way too hard. Why is he sounding like an 80s morning zoo jockey? And I'm just like, this is my voice.
You know what? I'm gonna take that flip and reverse it. You're trying so hard to make sure this podcast is so fun to listen to.
And it could be that.
So,
or it could just be all those years I spent guessing people's ages and weights and birthdays at Fool the Guesser that I just like automatically like I put on that like, oh, I'll guess your age. Hey,
but I'm going to have to slam that down because you were like this when you were 18.
Yeah, that's probably a good point. Annie, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. I think you've given, as far as Casey quizzes go, I think you've given us more interesting, cool places to go visit than
I endorse
think anyone
them
else.
all.
You endorse them all.
Oh, I forgot to mention Olive Garden.
And with that, we are done. Annie, thank you so much for being on the show.
Bye.
Bye.